Welcome to video 7 of the HydroFathom 2023 Watershed series. In this video, we examine the Salinas River. This river, nearly every year runs dry. However, an exceptional rain year in 2023 led to the river running harder than it had in decades. People often call the Salinas River the upside-down river because water will flow through the riverbed underground. John Steinbeck centered his novel, Of Mice and Men, in this river valley. The river flows north in central California, draining a watershed that lies between two small mountain ranges. The watershed begins just north of San Luis Obispo and mostly follows Highway 101. The river emerges into the dreamy Monterey Bay. The Salinas River flows between Santa Margarita, California and Monterey, California and travels about 150 miles overall, snaking between the Gabilan Mountains and the Santa Lucia Mountains while dropping about 2,000 feet. The river's headwaters form from small creeks. At the far end of the river, a dam forms and makes Santa Margarita Lake. Just below the dam, the first signs of the river emerge at an old bridge downstream of the lake. Further south, Highway 58 crosses the river and signs of the recent floods show. Creeks like Cholame Creek to the east supply support to wildlife like these swallows using mud for nests under overpasses. Dry land turtle rush to reproduce while the water lasts. At another Salinas River tributary, Shell Creek, a special amphibian also takes advantage of the rain. People often call the California tree frog a chorus frog, due to their haunting mating call. Here we see their tiny tadpoles in their shallow nursery. In Atascadero, the river has collected a few more streams and continues to grow. Continuing north, the river crosses under Highway 41. In Templeton, the river continues to funnel to the north while slowly sliding downhill. In Paso Robles, trails allow direct access to the bed and we spot the effects of urban centers on the river. West of the river in the Santa Lucia Mountains behind Paso Robles, a dam forms Lake Nacimiento. The rain deluge during early 2023 caused this lake to overflow for the first time in 6 years. Nearby fellow mountain lake, Lake San Antonio also stands full with most of the shore, or bathtub ring, under the water. This lake also overflowed in 2023 and the excess water can be spotted in the creek below the dam. Both these local lakes flow to the Salinas River. As we leave the headwaters and bottom third of the San Luis River watershed, we stop to observe the river in the small towns of Bradley and San Ardo. At about the midpoint between the headwaters and the mouth of the river lies the city of King City. Before we continue with the main river at King City, we divert to the far eastern side of the Gabilan Mountains. Uniquely here, the water from both sides of this small mountain range drains to the Salinas River. The water originating from Pinnacles National Park on the eastern slope of the mountains flows south for 20 miles prior to making a U-turn and joining the Salinas River and flowing back north. The park has a novel water feature that can be accessed by hiking and then traversing a series of caves, stairs and tunnels. Eventually one reaches the Bear Gulch Reservoir built by the Park Service in 1935 to prevent flooding. Below the reservoir, it's easy to observe the natural leakage of rock. Some springs come right from the walls. These can be located by following the green plant trail that they create. Near the eastern entrance the total water leaving the park appears. This water will continue to travel south until joining the river about 20 miles away. Then the water will turn north and travel 70 miles north to Monterey Bay. Here in King City, we see where the water from Pinnacles has joined with the San Lorenzo Creek, which cuts through the local golf course on its way to merge with the Salinas River. On the north end of town, Highway 101 passes right over the river and again we can see how urban centers affect the river. All life needs water, including humans. Often the desperate have no permanent home. In many cases people will camp by the river to access their daily water needs. These campsites occur frequently on the Salinas River. Further up the river at Metz, we find the remnants of dumping, another common activity along any river. Despite the mess, life thrives here also with these larger polywogs, likely from the red-legged frog. Along the California Central Coast, one sure sign of water is missions. The Spanish built these missions about 1 to 2 days walk apart and always near water. Here we peek at the mission outside of Soledad. Further north, the town of Gonzales is one of several nearby hamlets that have a river road. This one passes right over the river where again the swallows take advantage of the shelter offered by the bridge. On to the namesake town of Salinas, where we see the river near the end at about its largest size. As we enter the Pajara Valley, the effect of agricultural activities show. Much of the local agricultural water in this area comes from wells. Consequently, the water flowing off these fields does not occur naturally. The runoff contains high levels of nitrogen which can spark oxygen-depleting algae blooms which harm aquatic animals. The nitrogen also affects the groundwater. Just north of Monterey, the river flows beneath the last bridge where the famous California Highway, Highway 1, crosses the river. The river forms an important estuary at its end, and the federal government has established the Salinas River National Wildlife Refuge to protect it. To see the mouth of the river from the south, one must hike through the refuge and along the coast of the Pacific Ocean. Eventually the mouth of the Salinas River comes into view. Per our tradition at Hydro Fathom, we place a stick in the ground that marks where the river meets the sea.